Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today we're in Masechtas Nedarim Daf Lamed. We are going to begin on the bottom of Chaf Tesam with base, 3 lines on the bottom. Yosef Rav Oven, Rav Yitzchak Rabbi. So they were sitting Kamed Rav Yirmiyah. They were in front of Rav Yirmiyah. They come in Namnim Rav Yirmiyah. So Rav Yirmiyah, as we often find, this happens a lot. One of them he was dozing off. Yosef Karmi was sitting and he was saying, Lebar Pada. According to the opinion of Bar Pada, which we saw in the previous stop, the Amrinan Padan v'chayzus v'kedashais, that there is this concept that a person can be paide, and then it goes back and it retains its kedusha, it retains its sanctity as we continue to Lamed of the Aleph. Tivshoit, we should be able to answer Diboy Rav Hoshia regarding the question that was posed by Rav Hoshia. What was that? So, if we look in the Ran, it says, Heichi, that just like the Amr Masnis and Shachal Hakdish Netios Halolu, a person says that you could be makdish these saplings, Acher Shipadu, that after they got redeemed, the Chayli Kedusha Layu, and the Kedusha still remains upon them, Afagav Delo Akdishinhu Acher Pidyon, even though you weren't makdish it after it was redeemed, Hachanami Chayli Kedushi, the Kedushin is Chal, Ki Amr La'acher Shigarsh Teich, which we'll see in a second in this case, that you say, after I divorce you, Avi Shachar Shigirsha Ulchaz V'Kidsha. In that situation, after the Gershon, there's no Kedushin. So let's see what it says over here. Hanaisin Shtei Prutais Leisha. So a person gives 2 prutos to a woman, and you only need to give 1 pruta in order to be Mekadosh her. So when he gave 2, the Yermala, he says, Ba'acha Sid Skachli Hayoim. One of them, I want the Kedushin to take place right now. Uva'achas, the other pruta, Hiskadishli Acher Shegar Sheikh. That I want it to be Chal after we get divorced. So Hachinami the Havi Kedushi. So, according to this, we would actually say that this is a kedusha. Look at Rashi. Hainu dumya la'acher sheniktsu. It's comparable to the case of after the trees had been cut off. Shi'otzien mershus hektish, that they leave the rishus of hektish shematzachu pedia, that it requires a form of pidyon. So, Itar Buhu Rav Yirmiyah, all of a sudden Rav Yirmiyah, who heard this, it got him awake. Armahu, he said, Maika mida misun. What are you comparing it to? Padan hu lifdun lacherim. When it comes to the form of redeeming, it was redeemed lepadam acherim, to redeeming others, which is referring to kedushin. Hacham Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan said that padan hu chayzus ukadashais. By the case of a tree, you paid it, and it goes back to the level of kedusha. However, padam acherim, if let's say it's someone else, it's not you. There's another person involved in this process. In chayzus ukadashais, it doesn't work. The isha kipaduya acherim damya. Since there's another person here, it's comparable to a padiyah of acherim. So you can't compare it to a tree where you're the one doing everything, as opposed to here where there's a second person involved. So let's look in the Ran. Since he did the padiyah, the redemption, so at that point, it never left the rishus of hektish. Oh, mershuso, from his rishus, dinhu shehi chayzus kedoshos. So therefore, it makes sense that it could go back to its original state of kedusha. Oh, padam acherim, by the case of kedushin, where there's another party involved, even if it was brought afterwards into his rishus, in chayzus kedoshos. That once you were redeemed or divorced, nistalik rishus balim arishenim, so you're already removed. And then we see v'isha namika b'nu acherim damyu. Levi shemiyanshin is garsha, says the Ran. As soon as she was divorced, yotzim rishus abal rishusa, so she's gone from his rishus. Bein kedushin chalon aleha, and therefore the kedushin is no longer chal. Fine. Let's see the next Mishnah. Hanayder miyarde hayam. So let's say a person makes a neder, says Rashi, Shlo Yehena, I'm not going to derive any hana, miyarde hayam, for those people who go to the sea. You don't like sailors and pirates, so you make a neder against them. So mutar b'yoshmi habasha, you're allowed to get hana from landlubbers, people that don't frequent the water. However, if you say that I'm saying I don't want to get any hana from people who live on dry land, so you're asking basically everyone, even the people that are sailors. What do you mean? They're people that are on the seas. True, but not all the time. Because just because you're on the yam doesn't mean you're there all the time, so you're part of that category. So basically, what the Mishnah is saying is that if you make a neder against Yoshvei Habasha, you're answering everyone. However, it's only in Yoshvei Hayam, it's only those people that frequent the sea. And then we have this somewhat cryptic statement, Lo ke'elu shahoychen mi'akol yafai. Not like those people, and we'll see what this means exactly, that go from Akko to Yafai. So we'll understand what exactly is that referring to in the Gemara. So again, we'll have to understand what exactly is this referring to, that it's coming to exclude people that do this traveling. Fine. So in this, the Gemara says, there's two ways of reading it. This statement of Lo Ke'elu, you could read it like the connecting to the Reisha of the Mishnah or the Seifa. Man the Tanya Reisha. The one who says it's talking about the Reisha. What's the Reisha? You made a neder on Yordei Hayam. So the question is, when you say Yordei Hayam, who is that including? So Masni Hachi. This is how you read it. You made a neder against people who travel the seas. So Motar b'yoshmi yabasha. So Habi Yardei Hayam Aser. The people who are Yardei Hayam, the people that go in the seas, are Aser. However, now it qualifies. It explains it. V'lo ke'elu, as we continue to Laman Beis, not these individuals. Ha'hoyochin mi'akol yafai, the halein yoshvei yabasha. Since it's such a short distance, so therefore, those people, even though they do travel, that doesn't count as Yoshi Yavasha. It's the fact that a person goes on the Staten Island ferry once in a while, a person once in a while somehow takes a canoe somewhere, that's not considered to be Yoshvei Hayam. So therefore, they're not in that category. Nidhu. Ella Mamisha Darkin Lafaresh. It's talking about someone who it's the way that they typically will travel constantly on water and long distances. That's what's continuing. That's what it's coming to explain. Look in Rashi. Aser Hoyel B'Seifel Lalos Liabasha. Okay. Hahoyachim Yakul Yafo Aser Bovat. Okay. So Mani Masni Seifa, that Rashi is on the Seif, which we're going to see now. Masni Hanarim Yoshvi Yabasha. I'm making a neder on Yoshvi Yabasha, which seems to include everyone. So he says Aser B'Yodeh Hayam. It's coming to even Aser, the people that go on the seas. It's not only talking about those people that their travels are minimal, because they're certainly on the dry land a lot. Even these individuals who are on the water for an extended period of time, doesn't make any difference. Even those people are included in the nether, because those people do at some point get back to the sea, back to dry land. Question 5. Hanoider miyoshva hayam, o miyoshva hayabasha, ha'im neser baragil shiar liyarid mi'akol yafoi. If a person is accustomed to go from Akko to Yafo, so what is the din when it comes to making the neder in both these situations? So again, because one says the Reish, one says Seifa, this is how you read it. If you made a neder miyoder hayam, so it's a machlokas. If you made a neder miyoshvi yabasha, the people that are yoshvi yabasha, then everyone says neser. Everyone holds it's aser. So by the neder of yoshvi yabasha, this includes everyone, and all are aser. Even if sailors who are often at sea, But if you said Yardi Hayam, it's a machlokis if that includes the short distance, mi'aful yako, if that's included in this neder. Next Mishnah, Hanoidir mi'roye hachama. You say, I am making a neder against those individuals who can see the sun. Now, what does that mean? Aser apasuman. Even blind people are aser. Well, what do you mean? Blind people can't see the sun. So in this Rashi says, he was talking about all people. It's just an expression, the individuals that the sun shines on to them. Or as the Gemara, as the Mishnah says, it's referring to people that the sun sees them. It doesn't mean that we see the sun, it means the sun sees them, which is all people. So my time, min haroyin, because it didn't say the language of roin, those who see. Why does it say roi hachama? It's referring to the sun seeing us. Lafuki dogim v'ubarim. And what is he excluding? He's excluding fish, which the sun does not see because they're covered up by the water, and an uber, a fetus, who is also the sun does not go on them either. Okay, next Mishnah. Masnisan. Hanoidir mishchari haroish. So if a person makes a neder, literally against people who have hair on their heads or dark hair. You don't like people with black, dark brunettes. Aser bekerchin ubali sevois. So it doesn't make a difference even if you are bald. You're also in this category because your kavana or people, any person that had hair, even at some point, even bali sevois, even people who have gray hair, because at some point before they're gray, when they're younger, they had darker hair. Umuter benashim uvikatanim. However, this will exclude women and children. Why women and children? The Gemara's going to explain this, but the Mishnah says she'ein nikroyin shchayir rosh el anoshim. We only use this term for men, but not for women, not for children. Question 6. Hanoidim shchayir harosh mi'ein b'chol haneder. So straight Mishnah. Nashim and katana. Okay, we'll discuss in a few seconds why are they excluded. My taima, medaloi karmer mebali seyar. The fact that you didn't say people who have hair, so therefore it means even people who are bald that once had hair, or people who once had dark hair, therefore is also included. Only men are given this term. So my taima, anashim zimnin demichasu. When it comes to women, sometimes they cover their hair, and sometimes they reveal their hair. So that's when it comes to men. Sometimes men will show their hair. Sometimes they won't wear a turban or a big kippah. Women always have their hair covered. And since it was the custom that women should always have their hair covered, so therefore, because of that, when a person said making a neder and shchayir harosh, it couldn't include women because women, you don't see there was never a time that their hair is exposed that he could be referring to them. Ukatanim u'oyel megalu. When it comes to kids, their hair is always revealed. So therefore, it's referring to a situation where sometimes your hair is covered, sometimes you're not. That was the kavana. Says Rashi, he was thinking about adults. They don't act like what adults do. Okay. Fine. Next Mishnah. Hanoider min hayilodim. A person makes a neder from people that were already born. Says Rashi, Shkvar bol oilam. They're already here. As it's brought down in the Sefer Yoshua, it says hayiloidim bamidbar, those born. So I'm making a neder on anyone who's already been born. So mutter banoiladim. So you're going to be mutter with those who will be born. In other words, those in the future that will be born are not in this category of a neder. So you made a neder in 2022, and you said you're Nedarim min hayilodim. Those people that were born afterwards are not part of the neder. How about the other way around? What if you said min hanoilodim? I'm making a neder from those individuals who will be born. So aser min hayilodim. So we say that you're also going to be aser on those people who are already born. So your kavanah was inclusive, was including even not just people who will be born, but those who already were born. Rameir mater af biloidim. Rameir says, no. Not only are you going to be mutter to those who will be born, but also the people that were not, because even though that in itself, again, the statement is bedafka to make a neder on them, but also yiloidim, also those people who are already born are going to be mutter to you. According to him, for some reason, the neder doesn't mean anything. Chamim say that his kavanah, and he actually answers both of them, is because your kavanah was actually shedarku lehivaled, those who have they are born in a normal circumstance. Okay, that's what Ran says. So it's actually, we have this three-way machlokas. When a person says min hanoiladim, is it including not just noladim but also yilodim? Is it dafka the noiladim, because that's what the neder was, that language, but not yilodim, not those who are already born? Again, is it the neder not work at all? Okay, or it answers both. Rameir, according to Rameir, who says that everyone is mutter v'lo boy noiladim el man aser. So if he says af biyiloidim, so what exactly does this mean? It sounds like again he's matter. Who is he answering? What was his thought? He did make a neder. So if he wasn't including those who will be born, those who are born, so who is he? According to you, what is he thinking about? So chaser mechzav katani. The truth is the Mishnah is missing words. Is how you're supposed to read it. Hanoidim and hayiloidim. You made a neder against those who are already born. So the Mishnah says beferish mutter b'noiladim. As we established, you'll be mutter to those who will be later born. However, the other way around, min hanoiladim, then aser biyiloidim. Okay, Rameir oimer af hanoider min hanoiladim. Also, a person who makes a neder min hanoiladim, which is the case, again, which we're talking about of those who will be born, mutter biyiloidim, mutter completely. Kehechad neider min hayiloidim. Just like when a person makes a neder min hayiloidim mutter b'noiladim, then they're mutter completely. So I'm going to rapapla by lememra de noiladim. Are you telling me that the language of noiladim, that language is dimis yaldon mashma? That you're telling me it means that they will be born? El miata b'nei bonecha hanoiladim l'chal be'eretz Mitzrayim. Hachinami dis yaldon hu? So this pasuk is not talking about people that will be born. It's referring to those who already were born. Says Rashi, Afil Menashe Zakenu Shel Yeshayahu Lobol Oilam. Okay, so Ve'elo Mai Disyaldu Mashmel Miyata Dechsev Hine Bein Noilu LeBeis David, that there's a nevuah in Sefer Malachim that there will be a child from the house of David. Yeshayahu Shemoi, and Yeshayahu is his name. Hachinami Dehavi V'Hadayin Menashe Leba. The grandfather wasn't born yet. El Mashma Hachi Mashma Hachi. The truth is, this word could have refer to those who will be born and those who are already born. When it comes to a neder, we always go achar loshem b'nei and therefore, again, that's what, when it comes to the dinim of Nedarim, when we say the word, when we use the word noladim, it's referring to those who will be born later on. Says the Ran, this is exactly the machlokas. The Rabbanan Savri, the Rabbanan hold, the noiladim. Just like when it says the word noiladim, Beloshin Taira, Koil Noladim, includes Noiladim, those who will be born. Kvar, those who Noladim Kvar, those who already were born. Yasidim Lehivalid. So in other words, in the Torah, the word could have two meanings: born already or will be born. So so do when people speak. The Hanu the Hadu Rabbanu Lamemer the Seifa the Masnisa Nuschanu Zel Mimisha Darkul Hivalid. That his das was on people who give birth. Vodash Shlishihu. And it's actually not a third opinion in our Mishnah. Elwa the Farushi Kimafarshi Tamayu. It's explaining the armor the Hanoidim in Hanoiladim Asabakoil. That's why you're usher in everything, because just like the pasuk could have both meanings, so too Lush B'nei Adam could have both meanings. Skipping a few lines. Rameir Savar no, the Lush B'nei Adam lo mikra noiladim. It's not true, even though the Torah, you're right, could mean both, but when people speak, when they say this, it's Ella Asidim Lehivalid. It's referring to a future birth. Uviloidim nami de tervayu moide de mutter. When it comes to the language of Yilodim, those who are already born, he agrees that both are. Everyone agrees that the mutter ba'oisa shasin lehivalid, those that in the future will give birth. In other words, the ratio of the Mishnah that says Nedarim and Hayiloidim, everyone agrees that specifically Hayiloidim and not Noladim. Even though it's true that Noladim potentially could mean also those who are already born. So again, Tamayu Mishum Melashim B'nei Adam. The Obeloshin Tyra Kehechad Mashim Noladim Kvar. We already say it could mean this, it could mean that. Fine. Okay. So in other words, goof of the machlokas, as the Ran explained between the Rabbi and the Tanakama, is do we say that just like the word just like the word Noiladim could have two connotations in the Torah depending on the context, whether it's someone who will be born, who was born already, so too when it comes to Lush B'nei Adam, or maybe no, Lush B'nei Adam is Dafka. So that's the point of the machlokas. So what is that? Exclude afukim my leafukim dogim v'oifos. It excludes fish and poultry. Says Rashi. Shein noiladin memeiman. They're not born from the stomach of the mother. El matilin beitzim. Rather, they hatch eggs. They have eggs. They heat up the egg, and then eventually it comes out. So that's what it's coming to tell you, that it's coming to exclude births that come forth not like human births, but in situations just like an animal that lays an egg. Okay, we're going to stop here, but let's look at a couple questions. TA5. Hanoider min hanoiladim. Person makes a neder min hanoiladim. So, b'ma hu mutter. To who? What is it mutter? So it's a machlokas. Rameir mutter b'yiloidim. Rameir says that you're mutter to those that are already born. However, the Rabbanan says it's mutter not for them, but it's only mutter b'dagim b'oifais. Only fish and poultry. Question TB6. Lushin yiloidim. Him koil games hasidim lehivalid, b'loshin Torah u'v'loshin b'nei Adam. So this is what I wrote. B'loshin Torah, it is mashma, both born already and will be born. By Nedarim, we go achar losh b'nei Adam. So we say it is not including both, not koilil, which is not true. The Ran actually says that is actually a machlokas. Is a machlokas that just like the psukim can be read both, so too it's both. Or Rameir that says no, it's davka noiladim, those that will be born, but those who are already born are not included in this neder. Adkan.